Your S175's is a service code. You reach for a pen, and by the time you look back the number changed. It's not glitching if more than one code is stored. They scroll through that little window and turn. So most guys write down one code, walk away, and diagnose the wrong machine. Let's decode the real list. Cheapest fixes first, worst case last. Straight from the factory code table for this exact loader. Start with the window itself. The hour meter and the code display share the same spot on your panel. Normally it counts hours. When something trips, that same display switches over to a numeric service code. One code sits still. Several codes scroll. That's the whole reason the numbers seem to change on you. So watch a full loop before you touch anything. Write every code down in the order they appear. That display also lets you view base or the shutdown feature, so you know what the loader will still allow. Now the part that gets people in trouble before they even start reading. There's no secret math here. Somebody online will tell you the last two digits always mean the same thing. On this machine, they don't. Code systems change between generations. Here a code is a lookup, not a formula you can work out in your head. You match the exact pair to the exact line. Anything else is a guess wearing a clean uniform. Cheapest tier, and it's cheaper than you'd guess. A whole family of these codes is just filters. 117 means air filter plugged. That's the entire message. No mystery, no dealer, no diagnostic fee. 217 means hydraulic implement filter plugged. Different filter, same afternoon, same shelf at the parts counter. 1017 means hydraulic charge filter plugged. 3 filters, 3 codes, and none of them need a technician. But here's where it flips. Each of those codes has a twin that means something completely different. 116 means air filter not connected, not plugged, not dirty, not connected. 216 says the implement filter isn't connected either, and that's a wiring answer, not a filter answer. 1016 covers the charge filter the same way. Same wording, same meaning, same place to go looking. Because the machine can't see dirt, it watches a circuit, and it reports what that circuit is doing. Plugged means the circuit closed the way it was designed to. Not connected means the circuit went quiet. A quiet circuit is usually a connector knocked loose by a boot, not a part that actually failed. Which brings us to the cheapest repair in the whole book, and it isn't a part at all. The factory documentation says it flat out. Corroded or loose grounds cause symptoms all over the machine. It tells you to check your grounds. A ground is a bolt, a ring terminal, and clean bare metal. One green crusty terminal can make 3 unrelated systems start lying to you at the same time. That's why electrical codes travel in packs. Power those strange, and everything downstream reports strange, which is what the voltage codes are for. 3.9 is battery voltage low, and it's the polite warning. 3.14 is battery voltage extremely low. Same complaint further along. The machine is telling you it's starving. Going the other way, 3.10 is battery voltage high, and that usually points at charging, not the battery. 3.11 is battery voltage extremely high. Now you're cooking electronics, and every other code on screen gets unreliable. 3266 is battery voltage out of range. Different code, different watcher, same underlying complaint about power. So when a voltage code scrolls past with 3 others, fix power first, clear it, then read the list again. Here's the line worth keeping. Codes are witnesses, not suspects. Half of them just repeat what bad power told them. If that just saved you an afternoon of chasing the wrong wire, that's exactly what this channel is for. One more power code before we climb. 3265 is sensor supply voltage out of range. That's the feed the sensors run on. Chase it before you replace a single sensor, because they're all suspect. Next here, shorts. And the machine is unusually specific about which direction the wire went wrong. 11.5 is seat bar sensor short to battery. The circuit found power where power shouldn't be. 11.6 is seat bar sensor short to ground. Same sensor, opposite failure, and it feels identical from the seat. Either way, the loader gets careful, because that sensor is how it knows a person is actually sitting there. Same pattern on the locks. 3261 is handle lock short to ground. 3262 is handle lock short to battery. One circuit, 2 ways to fail, 2 separate codes. 3263 is pedal lock short to ground, and it's the same conversation about the other control. 3264 is pedal lock short to battery. Notice what the machine never says, that the lock itself is bad. It's telling you about wire, a rub-through, a pinched loom, a connector sitting somewhere it shouldn't. So look where the harness moves. Wire rarely dies in a straight run. It dies where something flexes. Attachment controls get their own group, and they fail in the most annoying way possible. 1223 is front auxiliary PWM switch not in neutral. The loader won't start something it thinks is already commanded. Often that's a thumb switch resting slightly off-center, or a return spring that's gotten lazy. 1221 is that same switch out of range high. The signal came back stronger than the controller permits. 1222 is out of range low. The other side of the same window. Both point at signal, not muscle. Now solenoids, and the price starts climbing. Read these carefully because they come in ON and OF pairs. 24.2 is rear rod solenoid error ON. There's a separate entry for that same circuit logged off. Don't blur the pair together. Which one scrolled up is half your diagnosis, and it costs nothing to notice. 25.2 is rear auxiliary relief solenoid error ON with its own off version listed right beside it. 26.2 is front base solenoid error ON, and again the table carries the off version as its own code. 35.3 is hydraulic fan error off. Cooling, that one command is how a normal day turns expensive. 37.2 is two-speed secondary error ON, the circuit behind your travel speed change, not the drive itself. With solenoids work the cheap end first, connector, then coil, then the driver inside the controller. Now the expensive end. And here's the strange part. The codes get vaguer as the parts get pricier. 3257 is lift actuator reduced performance. Not failed. Reduced. The machine noticed it isn't keeping up anymore. 3258 says the same about tilt, and that's the one that creeps up on you over months. You stop noticing because you compensate. Same way you stop hearing the shop fridge until the day it quits. 3259 is lift actuator wrong direction. Read that twice. It moved away, nobody asked it to. 3260 is tilt actuator wrong direction. That's not a performance complaint anymore. That's control integrity. Park it on those two. A control that answers wrong is worse than a control that won't answer. 3231 is a tilt actuator fault outright, and now you're pricing a part instead of cleaning a connector. But 3232 is tilt actuator wiring fault, and that one word, wiring, is worth real money to you. 3233 is tilt handle wiring fault. The input side, cheaper again if you trust the code enough to look. And the controller tier, 32.4 is ACS not communicating with the Bobcat controller. That's two computers that quit talking. Everything else on that display is noise until you fix this one. 3223 is ACS not calibrated, procedure not parts, but it's a procedure that belongs to the dealer. 3648 is ACD, multiple controllers present. The system sees more than one where there should only be one. So before you call anyone, watch the whole scroll, write it all down, then clean grounds and confirm voltage. Then split the list. Filter and wiring codes are yours. Actuator, calibration, and controller codes are theirs. And if it's a hydraulic performance problem, those pressure tests and relief adjustments are authorized service work for good reason. The machine never tells you what's broken. It tells you what a circuit is doing, and that's more useful. Read the whole scroll, fix the power first, then let the wording plugged, not connected, wiring, sort your wallet. Subscribe for daily diagnostics. Next up, the hydraulic pump test on this loader, walk through step by step. The exact specs are in the service manual linked below. Like this, if it saved you a guess.